Hey everyone, John here back on the map known as Valhalla on Ark Survival Evolved. Today I'll be showing off 5 awesome caves that I found while exploring the map. I would like to state that these are in no particular order. Also stay tuned to the end of the video to see some sneak peeks at some dungeons I found as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first cave we'll show off here is the Swamp Cave. It's not exactly the Swamp Cave, it is a cave that is in the swamp, located at around 5068. Now, they actually added the snow and swamp caves from Vanilla Ark into Valhalla recently, so this one can't actually be called the Swamp Cave, but it is a cave that is in the swamp. And as you can see, there's water all along the bottom of the cave, and it has these neat swamp-like trees and this pathway, a rocky pathway going all the way through the cave, leading out to the end of the cave, which is right here, with these stone pillars going down, and it's got these neat blue flowers and a ridgeway that you can actually build on. If you see right here, it's a nice flat ridgeway that you can actually build on. It has a pathway going down leading back out. Now I could definitely see somebody building some type of wooden cabin or a nice swamp shanty town or something like that, especially with the use of a bridge mod. It would be very cool to see that down here in this cave. So this next cave is kind of odd, but I do like it a lot. So it has this ocean entrance coming in from the bottom, and it leads out to a pathway up top, which I'll show off later on. But you can see that the entrance here is covered in water, and I do believe you could swim a Megalodon in. I don't know about a Plesiosaur or Mosasaur, but you could definitely swim a Megalodon or a nice Sarco in here or something like that. So going through the cave here, you can see that there are some rocky platforms, nice and flat, would be ideal for building a base on. And this cave is actually rather large. It is not, by far, it is not the largest cave on the map, and I'll show that off later, but it is fairly large, and there's many possibilities in here. You could do a lot with it, but to me, this would be one of the more difficult caves to come up with an idea to build in. It would definitely be very challenging. Now I'm about to make my way up the pathway now that leads to the second entrance of the cave. Considering this cave only has 2 entrances, this could be a viable option for PvP, I do believe. One of them being from the ocean, the other one being up this pathway going out to a small entrance that you could possibly fit a Sabertooth through. I do believe you could. But you can see where it lets out here. It's very nice, and it has a pathway that leads to the rest of the map. Very cool cave. Now, speaking of waterfall bases, I know I've already threw this in here in my top 5 awesome places to build at, but I figured I'd throw it into this video as an honorable mention, considering it is a cave in the waterfall. And I do still believe that this is one of the cooler places to build at on the map. The location is 6275. Okay, so this next cave is a very interesting one indeed. I am codenaming this cave Thor's Cave, and you'll see why when we get into it. It's located at 7022. The entrance to the cave is fairly large as you compare it to the Paraceratherium down there. And it's a very round cave with a small pond in the middle of it. Plenty of space to build whatever you wanted to inside of here. And it has this nice stairway that leads down into the water. Now inside of the water is something neat. There's oil and pearls down here. And so that would actually be a viable place to come gather some pearls and some oil if you wanted to. Now, if you built inside of the cave, I don't know if it would get rid of that. I'm guessing it would. But still, it is very cool indeed. And you can see this man-made stone pillar that goes down all the way to the bottom. Very cool cave indeed, but look at the coolest part here in the middle. So check this out. What is that? Thor's hammer. Yeah, I would have picked it up, but I'm not worthy. Plenty of space to build at inside of this cave, and I do think it's pretty cool that they included Thor's hammer inside of the cave as well. Okay, so this next cave is located on this small island in the middle of the lake at 5853, almost dead center of the map. And I actually personally really love this cave. It's another round cave, kind of like Thor's cave over there. And it has this shelf up here that you could build a base on, and it has a pond in the middle of it, very similar to the same cave that has Thor's hammer located in it. But this pond is a bit different. I'm actually personally thinking about building a base on here on our modded server. If you guys think I should, let me know. But if you go down into the pond, you can see that it leads out and it has a tunnel that goes out into the main lake that it's in the middle of. Which to me, in my opinion, that is freaking awesome. You could actually put a mosasaur or a plesiosaur. You could fit one right through that tunnel and out into the middle of your base. Obviously in a PvP situation, you do want to remember to block off that tunnel. Okay, and the last cave, but certainly not least as far as size goes, is at around 4034, and I'm just calling this one Big Cave, because it is a very large cave. So it has many of these large flat shelves that are just kind of tucked up into the innards of the cave. I'll show that off here in just a minute. Right here you can see that there's plenty of flat area to build a small castle if you wanted to up here. This could easily house a whole tribe and a fleet of dinos if you wanted to down here. As a matter of fact, I would love to see somebody build a huge city down here. If they've done it yet and I don't know about it, I would love to see it. But this cave is absolutely massive. And there's plenty of these shelves that I was talking about just tucked up around in this cave. And enough area to swim in whatever water dino you wanted to, fly in whatever flyer that you have. Pretty much do anything you wanted to inside of this cave. When I first saw this, it kind of blew my mind that this was in the map. And it still kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you. Please keep in mind that the coordinates that I've been giving you are very rough estimates, and I believe you should be able to find the entrances to the caves that I've been mentioning in this video with the coordinates that I've given you. So now we're getting to the dungeon portion of the video, and this dungeon is located at the southeast corner of the floating island. It's not really a dungeon, but it's kind of a team deathmatch PvP arena, actually. That's pre-made by the devs, which is very cool. And it's multi-level, and it has these archways and stairways and different platforms, and just... I could definitely see a PvP deathmatch going on inside of this. Now, I don't know if you can build inside of here, because I haven't tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure in the other dungeons that we're going to be covering, you cannot build inside of those, from what I've been told. And you can see these stairways that lead back up to the main entrance right here. And there's two stairways leading down through on either side, so you could have two teams enter the dungeon here. Next, we have the snow dungeon, located basically right in the middle of the snow biome, and you really can't miss it with the giant skull sitting in front of the cave. It's very dark inside of here, and there are plenty of mobs, spiders, snakes, scorpions. Gotta watch out for all of it inside of this. But it has a dwarven theme to it, and it's already pre-lit, but it is dark in a lot of areas. Different doorways and entrances. This dungeon is very maze-like, and you'll get lost very quick inside of here. As you venture down the corridors, you'll find that there's actually artifact containers inside of here, and I'm guessing all of the artifacts are located inside of this dungeon. There may be some located in the other dungeons, but I haven't found them, but I have counted at least 5 or 6 containers inside of this dungeon. Now, considering the amount of mobs that are inside of this dungeon, I definitely wouldn't come in here unless you are very prepared to take on all of these. You can see a little bit of lava through the grate there. Definitely a neat touch to it. And there's the artifact container. It's behind a chain link fence, so you cannot get to it from this area. You have to go around and find the way to get to it. And the last dungeon that I found is the Volcano Dungeon. To the north of the volcano, there's a pathway that leads down the rim. And inside of this overhang here, you'll see another pathway that leads to some lava. Now, you'll have to find your way around the lava here, maybe build a path over it. I don't know if you can actually build inside of this dungeon or not. I'm pretty sure you can't. So it's going to be difficult to get over that lava there, but if you can find your way over it, you can see these pre-made, man-made structures down in here. Similar to the Dwarven ruins in the snow cave, but very cool looking with all the lava that flow down from the walls. I'll go ahead and make my way down this stone pathway, and I want to make my way to the center of this dungeon so I can show you guys what it looks like. Now, this dungeon is quite large. fairly long, and it goes down into the depths of the volcano here. And as you can see, this rocky pathway is very winding, and there's a lot of crevices and stuff that you have to fit around to get to the very end of it. We're actually almost to the end already. Now, right here at this pathway, it branches two ways. I went to the left here, but you can go to the right as well, and I would actually suggest going to the right because it's not quite as long to get to the center of the dungeon. You can tell the devs wanted this to look like a very hot and centralized area of the dungeon by the rocks that are glowing. And as you can see, all of the lava walls and everything going down, this is the center of the dungeon with plenty of mobs in the middle of it, so watch out for that. That's going to be it for our caves/dungeons episode of Valhalla. If you guys know of any more caves that I've forgotten, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, please let me know as well. Give it a like if you did. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I will be doing at least one more episode of the 5 awesome places to build at on the map. Also, I'll be doing a Let's Play modded series on the YMC Arc server. I'm going to go ahead and let it close out with an aerial view of the map as a whole, just so you guys can see how big and awesome this map actually is. And as always, I thank you for watching.